record on this computer. Got it.
Ready?
Nice.
All right. We are smart people. Okay.
Look at it.
Let's start that over again. So this is going to be a very surface level lesson on the compensation plan, cycle bonuses, just right on the surface. If you love this stuff, if you want to learn more about it, I love talking about it. But you can also just go to YouTube, because that's where I learned all of this information when I first started. I watched every single compensation plan YouTube video out there until I understood it. It didn't click the first time. I was like, whoa, this is weird. I don't get it. But the more coaches that I watched, everyone had a different style of explaining it. Finally, there was enough information for me to be like, okay, I get this. It's really not that hard. It's a binary system. I'm a math teacher, so hopefully I can explain this well enough. I'm gonna feel pretty dumb if I can't. So let's see how these math skills go. So it is a binary system. That is you at the very top, okay? You are building your own family tree, but you also have the benefit of being on an incredible team where other people are also going to be helping build one of your legs with you. I'll get to that in a second. But you are going to be adding coaches to the left and the right of your organization, okay? Once you get to this point and you've added a coach to your right and to your left, you are an Emerald coach, okay? It's that simple. I highly recommend having at least one of these accounts, if not both of them, accounts that you can control. So that would be like your significant other, your sister, your mom. There are specific people that you are allowed to do this with, and it is in the Beachbody FAQ. I do believe it is your spouse, fiance, possibly they allow boyfriend, girlfriend, siblings, or parents. I don't think there's anything else. But you literally have control over your first rank advancement. Boom, you sign them up. Now, this may mean that, you know, on your account, you have Shakeology auto ship, and on your husband's account, you have Performance Line. You're going to be consuming all of that. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a husband who loves Beachbody just as much as you do, and he drinks his own Shakeology, and you don't have to worry about stockpiling a bunch of things. I am the only one in the house that drinks Shakeology and Energize and Recover. So on the months that I get too much product, luckily I have a mom who will occasionally have Shakeology, and she'll just buy a bag from me every once in a while. Or I get the packets and I give them out as giveaway prizes in free groups, or give to people as samples. There's just a lot of ways that you can get creative with having products coming to your house through another account that you also control. But that is a totally different separate conversation if you want to dive into that and all the options with that. So back to this, you're an Emerald coach. You're going to keep building your legs. And when you get to this point, you have 4 on each side, you're pretty darn close to being a Diamond coach, which the only other thing you need is at least one of these coaches, one on this side and one on this side, also adds 2 coaches of their own. Now, let's say that those first 2 coaches that you signed up, you have control over, okay? So this is your husband, let's say, right here, and you send a share cart through his account and sign up a coach on his left leg, which is gonna go down here, and also on his right leg, which goes over here. And now he's an Emerald coach and you're really close to being Diamond. Let's say this was your mom. You would do the same exact thing. Or maybe it's one of your girlfriends from high school and she is just on fire. And so she's adding just a ton of coaches over here and she's like just booming like crazy. Okay, so she's growing. Notice when she adds a coach to her right leg, it goes over here to also your right leg. And then she's the only one building that left leg that's on the inside. Now this whole family tree is your organization that you are going to be earning Team Cycle bonuses from, okay? You also have an upline up here, okay? She is going to be adding maybe some coaches over to this leg to help you build that one. So we all help each other in this business. And depending where you are in your upline's family tree, all you have to do is reach out and ask, what leg am I on? So you can start drawing your own picture to see this. Or if you log into your coach office and you see a coach added to your team that is not from you, and they went on your right leg, that means that there's a coach above you who is helping you build that right leg with you. Does that make sense so far? Okay. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this is where bonuses come into play. There are two ways that you can earn income through Beachbody. One is commission from customers. Second is team cycle bonuses that is created through volume. Okay. So if you sign someone up and they're not signing up as a coach, you're going to get 25% commission on their order. Every single time they order something, you're going to get 25% commission on the Shakeology or the Energize or whatever. Okay. Or on their Beachbody On Demand subscription, you get 25% of that no matter what, whether they're a customer or a coach. The subscription fees are the same for everyone. But there are some people who have been confused because they sign everyone up as a coach right away, and they get that, initial commission from signing them up, which they label as a bonus, but it's essentially the same thing as getting commission for their sign up. But then they're not getting commission from those coaches in the future. Well, that's because they're coaches, and coaches give us volume. So let's say this girl over here had her Shakeology ship. Can you guys see that number? Is it big enough?
Yeah, I can see it. 90.
Yeah. So she had her Shakeology ship. That's 90 volume. Okay. This person right here ordered Shakeology and some Energize. So I believe that's like 125. So every time their order ships or they sell something, that also counts as volume. So whether this person right here is just buying for themselves and they're a discount coach, or maybe they're building a business and they sell stuff to their friends, that adds to the volume on this leg. Okay. Same thing over here. People are buying and selling things, either just buying for themselves or for themselves and also selling things. That's adding volume to that leg. As soon as you have 100 over here and 200 over here, you get a bonus. And depending on your rank, you get paid per bonus or per cycle. So in every single week, Beachbody looks at, okay, how much volume does this person have on each of her legs? We're going to take away 100 from the smaller one, 200 from the bigger one. She's going to get a team cycle bonus. If you're an Emerald coach, that means $14. So let me just give you one situation. So let's say there's 650 over here, and there's 2,000 over here. Okay. So we could take away, now here's where the math comes into play. So we've got 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, and 100, right? And then another 50 on the end. So we have 6 over here that could easily match up with the same 6, but over here it has to be 200. Okay, so we've got 200 6 times, 100 6 times, and then we've got, was that 800 left over? Am I doing my math right? Okay. So on your paycheck, you would see, this one I won't be able to do in my head, so we're just going to pretend, or someone can unmute themselves and tell me. You would get $14 times 6 cycles. That would be your team cycle bonus for that week. The next week, you would be starting with 800 on your left leg and 50 on your right leg. And you just keep accumulating. And every single week they figure out, okay, how many ratios of 100 and 200 does she have? We're going to pay her for each of those. So that is how they figure out your bonuses. So growing a team of coaches, whether they're discount coaches or building a business, you're going to be getting weekly bonuses off of that. Okay. But you don't get commission from coaches. So there's the difference between that. Just to hit one really quick thing, this is where I'm going to end. Having your spouse here at the very top of your organization, and it doesn't have to be on the left, it could be on the right, depending on where you are in your own family tree of your upline. So talk to your upline about it. You get to push volume through there. So in my organization, if I'm right here, Chad is right here. So if I sign somebody up and I put it on his account, I'm adding volume to my left leg so that I can cycle, have more cycle bonuses. And then I can sign up maybe a coach on my right leg to add more volume to that. So you have a little bit more control over where you place volume so that you can cycle more times per week. Any questions just on that piece of it? Did I hit everything, Candace?
Yeah, I think so. Does anybody have specifics that they want to know about this while we have Andrew here? Good. All right. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Andrew, want to share a picture of your poster?
A picture of my
There you
poster
go.
in the
Yeah.
group? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll take a picture at the end.
Okay. Anything else before we switch gears quick? Good. All right. Well, the part I wanted to share then was I was trying to figure out, like, all right, it's mine and Brittany's turn for a team call. Like, what should we do? And you know, there's a pandemic going on. Should we just sit and talk? And I just really felt like we needed to cover something. And so as I was kind of reflecting on my month, then I shared this with you, knowing that, like, not to like be bragging, but just to show you like how I came to these revelations. But I am having as good of month as I had. This is matching my best one to date. My last one that's been this good in my business was in July when we went to Summit. And it's like hard not to have an amazing month in July because you went to Summit and all things coaching are just like flying high vibes, and it's amazing and it's an incredible time. And so to be having the same kind of success this month while we're in the midst of you can't leave your house and you're in a pandemic, I'm like, how is that even happening? So I just wanted to share what I figured out. Can somebody mute themselves? Okay. So there's three things that really boiled down for me, and I think I'll start with the first one, conversations, and figuring out that, you know, you keep hearing everybody say like, invite, but really those invites are conversations. So how can we have more conversations? Because I think inviting holds a lot of people back as coaches. They think it's salesy. They don't want to be annoying. And so when you switch the word for me and you're thinking, I need to have conversations, I think that's a big difference. So how can you have more conversations? Here's some ways that I have them. I watch people's stories and then I either react to them, like, you know, you can hit emoji, or I will comment directly to them. I post polls on my stories, and they might not even be about coaching, but it might be like, I think I did one last week. I'm like, you're stuck on COVID island. Do you pick your pillow or your blanket? And there was like I just made up random stuff, but I had like 40 people vote on the polls. I don't ever have 40 people vote on the polls. And then that's a group of people that they came and interacted with you. You can now message them and say, oh my gosh, me too. Like, I would totally go for the cake because, you know, I don't even like ice. That's true. Not true. I like ice cream more than cake. Anyways, but you just start a conversation about that, about whatever, and show them that you're a person. You can use some of your posts not to just talk about coaching and things, but to share stuff that you think is funny. Like Brittany's always cracked me up at whatever she posted this weekend. It was like, just so whoever needs this, you don't need anything from Amazon Prime today. And people comment because they're like, I was literally just on Amazon. Like, I was going to hit purchase. So share those things too. Comment on people's pictures when you're scrolling through, but I think direct messages, like when you can comment through a story and it goes to their direct message and things like that, is huge because people are way more willing to talk to you and share more things about their life. And that's when you're starting to have conversation. And so as an extreme introvert, when I start talking to people, if it's not about do you want to join my boot camp? I have an overwhelming feeling to end the conversation and be like, I can't do small talk, but we need to get past that. So I've been trying to like ask them questions about themselves. Like, how are you holding up during this? Another thing I do is when I post my first morning story, like when I'm drinking my Energize at like 5 a.m., I'll take a minute to go back and see there's like 10 people watched it already. I will send those 10 a message and say, hey, good morning. Like, you're up early. And then they'll be like, yeah, I'm a nurse, or they'll tell you something like why they're up early. I might message some of my story watchers and say, happy Tuesday. I hope you crush your day. Or like, you deserve to have a great day. I hope you do. Just something that is just a human. And I think that's been huge. So swapping out the thought of inviting to conversations. Now, don't get me wrong. I still, when people like my posts that I have specifically made a call to action, like, do you want to join a boot camp, and they've liked it, I will send them a message and invite them directly to join a group. But I'm having way more conversations than I am doing that. So that was a huge shift this month. My second thing, I said there was 3. So number 2 is value. So I kept hearing coaches like on the National Wake Up Call and stuff say, you need to provide value. And if you have not on the Beachbody Champions page watched, they had 4 of the top 10 elite coaches. It was like Mandy Kai, Silverman, and a couple others. And if you haven't watched that call from like last week, it's phenomenal. But they're like, you need to provide value. And I think I'm like a year and a half into coaching now. And the whole time I remember thinking like, yeah, but what value? Like, I don't even know if I have value to give. You just think about all these excuses of, I don't know, but this is what the value is. What do you do to be healthy yourself? Like, we're all here as coaches, we're doing something. We've come a long way from somewhere, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, what we eat. How did you get there? What do you do? And it can be super tiny things. You lay out your workout clothes before you go to bed. Well, share that. Hey, tip for you. If you have still yet to get up in the morning and get your workout in, try getting your workout clothes out right now. So they're like ready, or sleep in them. Like, so you take out one excuse. Your brain doesn't have one more thing to fight against you in the morning. Share those things. I mean, share that you drink water and half of your body weight in ounces of water. Like, it doesn't have to be these huge revelations of things like that we have to be geniuses about. No, people just need you to share what you know. So if it is a great book that totally has your mindset flipped, share that. Share it over and over again, because nobody notices that you share things repeatedly besides yourself. And people need to hear those things over and over, and they need reminders. So if you watch that call, or a different call that I saw, there's people predicting that as coaches, what we do in these 2 to 3 months during this huge pandemic, this is going to set the stage for you 2 to 3 years, for the next 2 to 3 years. Because are you going to show up consistently and be that person that I need? Because I can't show up consistently myself. So I need someone that's going to be there when I can't be there. And she's going to check on me. Are you going to do that? Because if you're wishy-washy now, like, I'm not going to trust you. You're not who I'm going to when I'm ready to sign up. Okay. And did you give me value during this? So don't ever be afraid. I think it's Angie Lee that says, don't ever be afraid to give your like free materials, to give a free meal plan or whatever, because we're always creating new content as coaches. So you don't need to be worried that you're going to run out of that free stuff. So give that. People need to feel like you're giving them something right now. And so just do that. You have value that your people need to hear. So whatever it is that your little tips or tricks, do it. And then my third one is affirmations and gratitude, and the combination. So I'm somebody that I get up in the morning, and for months and months, I'm like, boom, pound that 2 scoops of Energize and hit that ground running, because we got work to do. So, I mean, I've set my alarm when I'm going to work, and at 4 a.m., I am like this is my coaching time. Like, whew, we're going to go get these goals and I'm going to get these invites out and do this and do this and do this. And then I'm like, why isn't it happening as fast as I want it to happen? Why am I struggling to hit these numbers or my goals or whatever? So I've really made sure to, and I'm not perfect at this. I'm still have a lot of that person in me, but I have seen though this month the incredibleness, that's the word, of how this can transform you. But you have to pause in the morning and think about what you are grateful for. And as far as like the coaching business I'm specifically speaking to, if it's a conversation that somebody was like reached out and said one thing, they didn't sign up, but they said, be super grateful for that conversation. If your paycheck had more than $0 in it Thursday, be super grateful for that paycheck, because what we show gratitude for in the universe, that's what we're going to get back. So if we're like, oh, dang it, it's only $14 this week. Shoot. Well, you're not going to get any more money back from the universe. That's a crap attitude to have. I'm not going to give you more. You're not even appreciative of what I just gave you. So you've got to have the gratitude paired with the affirmation. So things like, I'm a leader that leads leaders, and you don't need to necessarily believe all these things yet, but you got to think about where you want to be and who you want to be. And then you say them and you will eventually believe them. So it's kind of like you got to talk the talk, even if you're not ready to walk the walk. And as you keep going, it will happen. But you have to pair them, because I was doing affirmations, or I was saying things like, oh, every day I find new people that want to work this business, and oh, I can't wait to see who I'm going to sign up today. And I'll try to be abundant, not scarcity. And then, things wouldn't happen. And it wasn't until I had a conversation with Andrea and the word gratitude just got slipped in there. And I'm like, oh, that's the part that I don't have paired. And that's been a huge, huge change. So with that, we need to give ourselves permission right now to be successful. So when there is an economic crisis like we have right now, there's always people that benefit and there's always people that don't, unfortunately. But in this part, our job as a health and fitness coach, we're in a sweet spot. I saw numbers. I got to talk to Mary Day on the phone for the first time. I never thought that would happen, but I was on the phone with her, literally chatting the other afternoon. And she said, there's 800,000 people that just logged a workout in one day on Beachbody On Demand. There's usually like 30 or something new diamonds a week. There's 153 new diamonds this week. People are saying yes to their health and fitness right now. And you need to give yourself permission to have success and to be able to go help those people. Until you do, it's just not going to happen. You're going to block all of them. And I think there might be I know when I first, this whole thing happened, I had a little guilt. You might have too, like, well, I still have a job. Like, I know there's so many people more, worse off than I am. Like, how I can't be happy right now. No, we can. We can. You got to give yourself permission, or we're going to sit in this spot where we've blocked everybody. So anyway, those are my 3 things. Does anybody have any comments, questions? Andrea, you're on mic. Go ahead.
Oh, you always fire me up. So I have some thoughts. The thing that I want each of you to just sit in right now is when Candace said there's 153 new diamonds this week. What was your knee-jerk reaction? Was it, well, that's good for them, but I could never do that? Or was it, that is freaking inspiring and I can't wait to be that? Your default, when you aren't even thinking about it, that is your energy that you're putting out there. That is. So if you're thinking, oh, I could never build that. I could never do that. I couldn't have 2,000 volume on one of my legs. I don't even know what a leg is. You need to stop. You need to read some personal development. You need to know that you don't need to know all these numbers. I'm a math teacher, so I was like gobbling this up, and I love it. And I'll help you figure all that stuff out. You don't have to be masterful in family trees like this. You need to believe in your core that this is all possible for you, and that more than that, that you deserve this because you have a passion in your heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call right now. I need to look at the camera so I can be looking at all your eyeballs. Like, you literally are here, number one, on this planet for a reason, but on this team for a reason. You followed a nudge after watching somebody on social media. There are other people watching you. I have like chills over my whole body. We can't do this alone. We have to link our arms together as a team so that we can be building up leaders. Like, watching Candace just crush it is like, it's enough to bring it like to tears to my eyes, because when I first started this 5 years ago, I had this vision of having a team that I would just want to hang out with every single day, and it's here. But it wouldn't have happened if I would have got stuck in my excuses and all of my self-limiting beliefs and just like sat there paralyzed because I didn't know what to do. I don't know what to do every day, but I'm going to pick up my personal development. I'm going to pump myself up. I'm going to show up. And that's all successful coaches do, is they consistently show up for their own health, for their own fitness, for their own mental health, for their teams, for their accountability groups. And you just keep showing up, because that is integrity, and that's what people want to be around. So that's why we post every single day. That's why I'm going to just stop, or I'm going to start crying. So
You guys, the belief in yourself is something that you intentionally choose every single morning. Like, I'm not going to say that every single day I'm like, oh yeah, I'm confident that this job is made for me. This is my jam. It is, but I'm not every day do I wake up feeling like that. But it's an intentional choice to sit down in the morning and, like I said, practice some of those affirmations. And if nothing else, you take action and you start doing what you think a good coach should be doing, and the rest will follow suit.
mm-hmm.
But I guess we could probably go on and on. We better call it. So anybody that's here and anybody that's watching this replay, just know that, I mean, some of you, none of you would know what my first stories are besides Andrea, because you would not have been watching them because they weren't there. I didn't post stories. I was afraid to talk on my stories. So I wouldn't record a workout. I would post a sweaty selfie and I'd post that on the story, and I would not speak. And I did that for months. I am not joking. I did that for months. And now the first thing I tell all my coaches is, first thing you're going to do is you're going to go get on your story and you're going to talk. And I don't care what it's about, but you're going to talk, because that's your first step outside of your comfort zone, that you're like, oh, nobody died and my world is still moving. Okay. And now I just do it every single day, and I dance on it, and I do whatever. And you just need to let your personality come out. People need to know you're a human, and you can all do this. If I am at this point talking on a team call, when Andrea first asked me to my first time, I was like, I think I'm going to puke right now. It's not even the day to do the call. It's just the day you asked me. But I mean, because of that feeling, I guess I will do it. And now it's like one of my favorite things. It feels like a pregame speech. It's like the closest thing to like my old basketball days where we're in the huddle and like amping each other up. So I love it now, but just know that there were days where I felt like puking before these. So if I can do it, you all can do it.
Okay.
Let's wrap up.
I just have I laugh because I'm always like, I'll even say something to Jeremy and be like, I need Candace to go on and give a pep talk, because I'm not a pep talk. So back to conversations. In the Josh coach training that I'm doing, it was kind of like the first moment where somebody actually said invites and conversations together, because they're always considered invites. And he's like, no, it really starts as a conversation and it leads to an invite. So, when you think you have to go and send out, 50 invites a week, it's really, you're just starting like 50 conversations a week. And he said, you try to connect on family, occupation, and recreation. So like, Candace just made a comment, I'm attracting a ton of moms with 3 kids, and stuff like that. Like I'm attracting people with shepherds and people with golden retrievers and things like that, because that's, I don't know, my family. I mean, stepmom stuff too, but like that aside, so those are the things that you're looking at, like when you're going through, somebody's stories or reading their posts. You're just trying to connect with them on something to start a conversation with them. And I know as an introvert, like this is hard, but just getting that thought. Anyways, those were the few tips that I had from my trainings. That's it.
Hashtag
Insert.
right.
Hashtag awkward.
Okay.
And I just attract awkward people. So Candace attracts exactly her, which is a mom with three little kids, and I just attract awkward sauce. So thank you for all being my awkward friends.
Oh my God. Yes, that's so funny. Oh, and yes, I do remember that whole thing where the first time when we were told that we needed to start talking on our stories, Candace and I were like, "Are you gonna do it? I'm not gonna do it." We had to talk on our stories.
I'm not doing that.
I'm so mean. I know.
Oh my God. It was just really